So if you were going to ask me who is Rapiscale, my answer would be we're a global managed cloud computing company, right, with an emphasis around the management. It really is a core differentiator for us. The level of management that we're willing to do, getting the granularity within the stack to the help desk that we're providing for customers, really is a differentiator for us across the board, especially when you're talking about desktop as a service. So when you look at it at a high level, there's really three kind of categories of management that we really identify and talk about with customers. The first one is unmanaged, right? So as you can imagine, they've got a healthy IT staff, they've got a lot of experience within VDI, right, or virtual desktops. And they're very self-sufficient when it comes to day-to-day tasks. The second would be code-managed, right? So the code-managed is going to be shared responsibilities from a day-to-day perspective. And the third one is fully managed. So I want to kind of give you an idea of what are some scenarios that, in which case, these different categories of management come into play, and then what are some of the expectations and roles and responsibility that we see. So let's look at an example of an unmanaged customer. So let's say that they have 500 employees and 20 on their IT staff. So in this case, they have a Citrix engineer that's on staff. They're doing Citrix themselves. They're looking to move to an OpEx model, right, moving it to the cloud. But they've got some good talent on site to be able to handle things. Here's a Rapiscale cloud. So keeping it very simple, they've got their DAS farm, right, their Citrix or VMware farm here. That's essentially what is essentially pushing the virtual desktop out. And then they've got some servers, some app servers that are running in here, and then of course they've got their 365. Technically it would be in the 365 cloud, but for simplicity we'll keep it here. So in this case, you have your customers down here, and they've got their IT staff. So what are some of the things that they're going to be taking care of? So first of all, if there is, let's call it the firewall. A lot of times we're managing firewalls for customers. In this case, they might want to have full management of the firewall, set their policies up, open up ports, everything they want to do, so self-sufficient on there. And we're providing that firewall, we're providing the licensing for the firewall, but they're handling the day-to-day, and they don't need much assistance for that. So outside the firewall, once you start getting into actually what's happening within the data center, so you have your Citrix farm and you have your application servers to keep it very, very, very simple, right, and very high level. In this case, whether in an unmanaged environment, they're handling the base image updates, the profiles, Active Directory, folder structures, all the day-to-day stuff they're handling on their end, as well as patching and updating of the operating systems, application support. If they've got some databases, they're typically going to be doing DBA work. So it's very hands-off from a Rapiscale perspective on a daily basis. Now, where do we add value for a company like this? So we understand that they're doing this today. Let's say they have one Citrix guy, right? So now we have Rapiscale over here in our support structure. So in this case, let's say that they lose their Citrix guy, right? Now we can take over those workloads. They can basically call us up and say, hey guys, we lost Dan the Citrix man, and we need you guys to kind of take over some of the day-to-day stuff with the Citrix environment and kind of help us out. So we can then step in and augment that and help that out for whether it's a short period of time where they can backfill that resource, or if it's taking over on a daily basis and ongoing, that they want to kind of move that out to an outsourced model. Either way, we are a large backboard for them to be able to reach out to in the event that they need something. The other thing could be, what if they have a big merger and acquisition and they don't have the amount of resources to be able to handle all these workloads? We can step in, right, help them with that. Maybe it's a PS engagement or an ongoing management of these other companies. Either way, we're able to help them. So that's really where the value comes for a customer that's relatively self-sufficient themselves today, is to be able to use us on the back end when needed, and really ensure that we're obviously running an enterprise class infrastructure and the servers are up and operational at all times. So the second scenario we'll walk through is code managed, right? And this is really where we complement customers very nicely. The makeup of this, let's call it 250 employees, and they've got five IT staff. It means they've got some guys, they got a few quality IT professionals, but they're pretty thin, right? And maybe lacking in some expertise somewhere. So in this event, again, another DAS situation. This customer may be moving to virtual desktops for the first time, right? Legacy on-prem stuff, they're starting to move to the cloud. They've managed it themselves, and now we're talking about moving to a new technology where they have a gap in that. So they don't have any Citrix guys on site. So in this case, similar situation, DAS, some app servers, 365, firewall, IT staff, and rapid scale. So in this case, customer has, right, they've got some VMware guys, right? They understand how to manage their applications. They understand how to patch and update operating systems. They handle the Active Directory stuff. So a lot of sustainability they're handling. So if we're looking at shared responsibilities, and again, we're not truly delineating this thing with them. It's the conversation is around, tell me about your team. What does your IT staff look like? First of all, are you aware that this is available to you? Now tell us kind of what you want us to do and what you want to do. And it's not a set it and kind of all or nothing. This changes, and it's supposed to change. As they bring in new talent, possibly they may take over some workloads, or vice versa. They lose it, we bring it in. So let's say this example. And again, this is co-managed environment. So shared responsibilities. So in this case, we'll say the customer, they're going to handle the application servers, right? So this is going to consist of any softwares, if they've got CRMs or ERPs or EMRs, patching, updating, monitoring. That's the stuff that they're going to be doing on their end on a daily basis. Now, where RapidScale comes into play, we will be handling the DaaS piece. So what does this mean? This means that our responsibility day in and day out is going to be around the management of that environment. And that's, again, base image updates, and there's going to be some Active Directory work. It's not as a granular application support, but the health of that Citrix farm will be done and handled and be a responsibility of us. So that from a support perspective, that means if they're having issues with Citrix, they call us. And that's very much within the bucket of services and what they have, and they're doing that. We might also be managing their firewall for them, right? So we handle that piece for them. So the DaaS and the firewall, whereas they're just like, we can take care of our application servers, and we can handle that, and then we essentially handle the other stuff. Maybe they're doing their 365. So any types of moves that changes with their 365, they're going to be doing all this. So this is a co-managed situation where we're sharing workloads and we're sharing responsibilities. Again, this can change, but this is what we're doing from a management is we're complementing or augmenting anything that they have weaknesses or gaps in. In this case, they don't have any experience in virtual desktops or desktop as a service. So we, of course, have to be subject matter experts as we are, and we're going to come in and manage that for them. If they decide to hire a Citrix guy in-house and they want to manage it, by all means, they can certainly do that, and then we can obviously work to onboard them and bring them into that environment. This is a very, very, very typical day in and day out situation that we see in the market. Again, as a managed cloud provider, we complement these mid-market companies very well. Limited IT, you don't have to go out and hire somebody and train them. We can handle that for you on our end, and obviously change and grow with you as needed. So the last scenario is fully managed. And this is one we actually see a lot, and more often now than really forever, because there's a lot of small to medium business size companies that are wanting to get to go to a cloud, but obviously they don't have the resources or the know-how to be able to do it themselves. So what does a traditional company look like? So let's say there's 50 employees, one IT person. What do they do on a daily basis? Everything: break fix, putting out fires, manages in local network, the whole thing for them, right? Just a kind of a general tier one type, engineer, to do IT. So RapidScale becomes an extension of their business for IT, and pretty much everything that goes through for IT goes through us. So here we'll build out a little cloud. So DaaS farm, some app servers, 365 out here. There's RapidScale, and lonesome one IT employee. In this case, obviously, he has no understanding around it, so it's our pure responsibility to handle this. Now, one of the things that we're talking about management in a fully managed environment, there is a proactive and reactive approach to the way that this is really done. So, obviously, in this case, we are going to be managing the firewall for the customer before they get in, all the ingress, egress data, web filtering, content filtering, things of that nature. Now, obviously, we're going to be handling the DaaS farm and the management of that piece, as well as the application servers. These are all going to get patched and updated by RapidScale. We'll have them on there. We're going to be handling that piece. There's backups, so on and so forth. 365, any types of moves, adds, and changes that happen, they're going to call us and do that. So the management comes down to the level of support that they receive, and then the proactive piece as well. In this case, moves, adds, changes, tier one type stuff, that's all going to RapidScale. Anything within the DAS environment that they have is going to RapidScale. Any application issues that are having within the virtual desktop environment, they're going to RapidScale. If they have a software issue with one of the servers and we deem that it's not the actual infrastructure, but it might be a coding issue, RapidScale then works directly with their software vendor to come to a resolution for that. So we essentially start handling everything. We are, if you're looking at the company here, RapidScale is an extension of their business from an IT perspective. We are their IT now. Everything they're happening on a day-to-day basis, we're controlling it, we're managing this environment, we're producing their production environment, in which case all the calls are coming in through us. So in conclusion, the three kind of general categories of management: unmanaged, co-managed, and fully managed. We kind of described those for you. Now, this is a high-level explanation of this. There's all kinds of ins and outs and ways to kind of segment and depending on the customer really what they need. It's not all or nothing, right? So, but this is a good example to kind of give you a feel. We see co-managed a lot. That's a very good space for us. We are coming in and bringing expertise in the back end. But we also have some very large customers that handle most of the stuff on their own day to day, but still need us, right? And those partnerships are great because there's a shared responsibility, but there's also an understanding that we're there if they need us. End of the day, this is where we differentiate. A lot of companies won't get as far into the stack as we get, and they certainly won't get into the grain of the moves, that changes and things of that nature, right? Help desk is what they would call it. So hope you're able to kind of get a good understanding of that. This is important for you to understand what services are available to your customers so you can understand how that's going to help them on a day-to-day basis. Because management and providing these services it's not about displacing. It's about repurposing if we need to and bringing a service that they don't have today to make their business better and help for them to be able to leverage IT. So I hope this is a good explanation for you. Again, this is our strong suit. If you have any questions, always happy to answer them.